I get copyrighted if I kept playing music and you could hear it in the background. Why is that so overexposed? Hang on. My phone's playing up, the camera's playing up. Yeah, this camera doesn't sort itself out like you would expect, like a normal GoPro camera or something, to set the exposure on its own. This one doesn't. Like, you gotta play around with it. Hence, when I first got this camera, I had quite a few videos, like my first fuel filter video was massively out of focus. Not out of focus, overexposed. So much so that it was pretty darn difficult to see anything. This good coffee has too much milk. Only one of my packages is in Perth at the moment. Yeah, hopefully the other package catches up. And hopefully it's here by tomorrow. Speaking of car parts, this is all the stuff that Vision will get done to it when it goes in to get its heavy maintenance in about 4 months. Pretty nice. Hello? Okay, coming down. What's up, man? How you doing? Good. Yeah, depending on how obsessed someone is with their car, they'll either have like a small mental list of things that need to be done to it, and if they're insane, they'll have like a physical list. Regardless, this is one of those things that's on my list. So these are the old lights on Vision. They are aftermarket, a no-name brand. They're still available, but they are quite old, so they've obviously been around for quite a few years. I did get a comment as to why I'm replacing them. Someone actually said, like, imagine if the dead could see, and they would find you whinging about like dirty lights or something like that in one of the comments. Look, they're not dirty. They're yellowed, and there's quite a few things that's just not right about them. So firstly, they shine onto the opposite side of the road. So even though they're built for a right-hand drive car that's meant to be driven in left-hand drive traffic, so we drive on the left side of the road, but we sit on the right, these are inherently pointed and beamed towards the right-hand side of the road. All cars should point their lights inherently off into the ditch in the direction of travel. These don't. So these were built for a right-hand drive car for a country like Australia, Japan, things like that. And it just goes to show, like, sometimes aftermarket brands might look good, aftermarket products might look good and things like that, but it's the thought process behind them that's just completely wrong. And so these lights would be really great for someone in North America with a van like this, because they instinctively want to point off into the right-hand side ditch. Not so great for me because they point off into oncoming traffic here. Yeah, I have tried to adjust them. So before anyone comments, hey, why don't you just adjust it? I have tried to adjust them. It just doesn't get it quite right. It's too high by the time you try to get it to go left, and it's just a mess. It doesn't work. The second reason that I need to get rid of these is the fit and finish. So if you look here, towards the front grille of the car, the center of the car, it just doesn't want to push in. You can try force it in as much as you want. The prongs just don't line up, and when they do, and you do force it in, it just kind of like squeezes itself back out again. There's also quite a lot of crazing on the lens. If you watched some of the earlier videos that I made, I've tried to polish these out. I've tried to wet sand them with like 4, 6, 800, 1200 grit, 2000 grit, 3000 grit sandpaper. Yeah, nothing's gonna fix this. And then the last reason that I need to get rid of these is just on the park light on the side, the marker light, there's a flap of plastic that's inside these lenses on both sides. It's meant to be there, and just over many, many years of, I guess, heat cycles and incandescent bulbs and hot LED bulbs, it's just melted and warped that plastic. So time to get rid of them. I'm actually going to the automotive parts shop. The reason is I know that there's one of the marker lights, the turn signal lights, is blown, so I need to buy a new bulb. And secondly, if another bulb just randomly, Murphy's Law, happens to blow while I'm replacing the headlights, I'll be right in front of the shop. You can tell summer's approaching because like the flies in Australia are relentless. They like you swat them and they're back on your face within 0.1 second, and they really drive you up the wall. They can really be extremely annoying, especially when you've got both hands busy doing something. Yeah, I don't know, like I'm happy with the lights. They fit much tighter than the ones that I just pulled off. So that's what it looks like. This is the bit that I was saying that it doesn't really fit properly up here. So I'll have to sort that out. But other than that, oh, and that park light has just stopped working as well. So yeah, I'll have to sort that out. This one seems to be working okay. Again, up here, trying to sort this out. That's loose. But I think it suits it. I think that clean sort of OEM style look is coming back. Whoa. So Depo lights, these ones, as a brand, Depo has a pretty good reputation. They make lights for like everything, way more complex than this. They have the right tools, the right machinery and things like that. So it's definitely built properly. So there's not a problem with the lights, I'm pretty sure. I'm sure the problem is with fitment on this 25-year-old van which has probably, you know, had a shunt or an impact at some point, and so things might not just be as precise as they once were. And I can show you that because over here you can see a tiny bit of overspray, and there's like some bubbles under it. It's not rust bubbles, it's just like some sort of wavy bubbles. And if you look here as well, there's like a crack there and some weird bits of paint. So yeah, I think it just needs a bit of massaging to get it to fit just right, and it should be good to go. I'm gonna go home now and we'll wait till the lights turn off in the garage, and then we'll see what the main high beam sort of light, low beam light pattern is, and the high beam light pattern, and see if it's made any difference from those crappy lights in the back, because it would be a shame if I spent all that money and got these lights only to have a worse off fit and a worse off light spread. But if this car goes back to New Zealand, which is a plan, which keeps changing now, because, well, the plan is to always go back to New Zealand. This thing's plan to come along with us is what's changing. Because if it is playing up like this, New Zealand is really anal for like a country that's like the size of a pinky finger. They're really anal on a whole lot of things, and they like check the light beam strength and like how straight it points and all these sort of little different things. And they might be real fussed about little things like this, which is why I bought these lights in the first place, because I knew this car's intention is to go back to New Zealand with us. I do love it as a vehicle, and that's why I want to take it with me. It's not just because it's convenient or something. And yeah, like the thing is, like, if it goes back and New Zealand starts kicking up a fuss about this and that and this and that, is it really worthwhile? Because I could sell it here and get like 25 grand for it, and I can go back to New Zealand and either buy or order a higher super custom, which cost me like 17,000 New Zealand dollars, and then I can spend the rest of the money bringing it up to scratch like this one is. All right. Before going upstairs, I thought I'd give it a little bit of a massage, and it's come up pretty well. That's about as flush as it was before. Boy, they are super bright. Got the park light going again. This turn signal works, this one doesn't. There's a problem with the wiring between them. I don't have time to fix it right now. If it ever goes into a workshop and they want to sort it out, it's up to them, they can do it, but I can't be bothered. And this one also is fitting fairly flush. It was never perfect on both sides, and it's about as good as it was before with the old crappy lights. So I'm really happy with it. So I'm gonna reverse park it now. So whenever I come out, I get to see it all looking nice and new and shiny.